Non-parametric tests are those tests which do not rely on data belonging to any particular parametric family or probability distribution. It means these tests are assumptions free test or the assumptions free tests. Okay. Now the non-parametric test, when to use. Now question is when to use non-parametric test. So non-parametric test we use when assumptions of the parametric tests are not met. What does it mean? It means where our data metric form and we want to apply the parametric test, but my data not normally distributed or homogeneous, then in that condition we use non-parametric test. So the condition when to use the non-parametric test, directly we should not use non-parametric test. If my data in a metric form, then first of all we should try to apply the parametric test. If my data not normal and not homogeneous, then we should correct our data through either log transformation, inverse transformation, or square root transformation. Still my data not correct, my assumptions do not fulfill, then we should use the non-parametric test, which is equivalent to the parametric test. So there is no harm to use the non-parametric test, because sometimes we do not fulfill the assumptions of the parametric test. That is why we use the non-parametric test. Okay. Now, if my data not normally distributed, then in a non-parametric test, we use for one sample, the one sample Wilcoxon rank sign test. Okay. So equivalent, it is equivalent to the one sample t test. Why am I using this non-parametric test? Because my sample of the one variable not normally distributed. That is why I'm using this one sample Wilcoxon rank sign test. Okay. Now, the after that, the second it is for one variable. The second condition for the two sample and more than two sample. So in a two sample means there are two mutually exclusive group. There may be two mutually exclusive group, and there are two variable, one dependent variable and another independent variable. Now, what is the condition of independent t-test? What is the purpose of independent t-test? I told you yesterday the purpose of the independent t-test to just compare the two groups. We divide our sample into two mutually exclusive group. What does it mean, two mutually exclusive group? So we can create, when we want to compare the two groups, so we generally divide our sample into two parts. One is the sample. There are two categories in a sample. What are the categories? The independent t-test, the y, that is dependent variable, and x independent variable. So the two categories mutually exclusive, we divide our sample into two mutually exclusive category. On the basis of several characteristics, we can divide our sample on the basis of the gender, means male, female, or public sector, private sector, or the control group and experimental group, and the Varanasi and Lucknow. So we divide our sample into categories, and both the categories are mutually exclusive category, or we can divide rural, urban. Okay. So this is the criteria to creating the category of two mutually exclusive categories. Now, because this test is parametric, if my assumptions of this test not fulfill, means data not normally distributed and data not homogeneous, then I use equivalent to this test, that is the Mann-Whitney U test. Okay. So Mann-Whitney U test, it is equivalent to the independent t-test, And the purpose of Mann-Whitney U test, again same as the purpose of independent t-test. So what is the purpose of Mann-Whitney U test? We compare two groups. So but here we will not compare the two means. Here we will compare the two mean rank, because in a non-parametric test the data ordinal form. So the when our data, even my data metric, but data not normally not homogeneous, then the SPSS automatically convert my metric data into ordinal form and give the rank of the data. And on the basis of rank, we analyze, we use our data for analysis purpose. Okay. So Mann-Whitney U test, here we compare two groups, and the purpose of this to compare the two groups. Now the second is paired t-test. In a paired t-test, I told you we measure two times. We measure two times same observations. Like there are 5 respondents, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The doctor measuring the 5 patients. This is the before treatment or before giving the dose. The fever of the patients 10 degree, 102 degree Fahrenheit, and so on. And after the treatment, same again we measure the same respondent. So the 98.7 degree Fahrenheit and all these things. So here the biggest difference between the independent t-test and the pair t-test is, in a pair t-test we measure same respondents 2 times, before before treatment and after treatment. But in an independent t-test, we divide our sample into 2 mutually exclusive groups, and the both groups are independent. Okay, so the basic difference between the independent t-test and pair t-test, the pair t-test we measure same respondent 2 times. If my data not normally distributed in a pair t-test, then equivalent to the paired t-test, we use Wilcoxon signed rank test. So this is the, okay. So okay, now the third test, that is the more than 2 sample. What does it mean, the more than 2 sample? More than 2 sample means we divide our group into more than 2 times mutually exclusive, like we divide. So y equal to y, that is the dependent variable, and x independent variable. So here I am creating 3 levels, 3 category or 3 levels. So in this case we use analysis of variance. But if the data not normally distributed or not homogeneous, then we use equivalent to the भैया गुड इवनिंग वगैरह प्लीज, अब जो है थोड़ी देर के लिए मैसेजेस प्लीज आप बंद कर दीजिए, अब केवल फोकस लेक्चर पे रखिए. ओके, गुड इवनिंग एवरीबॉडी, मैंने एक बार आपकी तरफ से कह दिया सबको. सो ये नाउ द independent t-test, the analysis of variance extension of independent t-test, because here we are measuring, we are comparing 2 groups, and if we have more than 2 sample, then we use analysis of variance. So here we can compare more than 2 samples in an analysis of variance. Now next is the Kruskal-Wallis test. It is equivalent to today we will take case study of Kruskal-Wallis test, which is equivalent to the analysis of variance. So Kruskal-Wallis test, not doing anything new things. It just comparing several means as analysis of variance too. But why am I using this Kruskal-Wallis test? I am using this Kruskal-Wallis test because assumptions of the parametric test and not fulfilled. What are the assumptions? The one is the data should be normally distributed. Okay, normally distributed. And second is data should be homogeneous. Okay, both the assumptions should be fulfilled. If data normal and not homogeneous, then we cannot use ANOVA. If data it is not normal but homogeneous, again we cannot use ANOVA. In that case, we use Kruskal-Wallis test. So Kruskal-Wallis test, not giving anything new information, it is same as the analysis of variance. Okay, so it is equivalent to the analysis of variance. Next test, Friedman ANOVA. Friedman ANOVA, the when we take several observations of same respondents. Same respondent, we take more than 2 times. We measure repeatedly. Okay, we take a sample repeatedly. Like there are five patients. Okay, and doctor जो है there are 5 patients and doctor taking observations. There are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first day he's taking the observation of the 5 patients, and second day, third day, 4th day, 5th day. Doctor is taking observations of the 5 patients daily. Okay, continuously 5 days. So in that case, we use repeated measures ANOVA because we are repeatedly measuring the same respondents. That is why we use repeated measures ANOVA. But if assumptions of repeated measures ANOVA not fulfilled, then we use Friedman ANOVA. So before analyzing any statistical tool and technique, we should think the concept of the particular statistical tool and technique. So if you want to apply if you want to compare the statistical tool or technique we should use. So in that case, the independent t-test effective technique. If you are comparing several means, then you should compare the analysis of variance. If you are taking 2 observations before treatment and after treatment, same respondent, then you use pair t-test. If you are taking same respondents observations more than 2 times, then use repeated measures ANOVA. Now the independent t-test, the equivalent of independent t-test, that is Mann-Whitney U-test. Why am I using the Mann-Whitney U-test? Because assumptions of the independent t-test, pair t-test, not fulfilling. That is why we are using Mann-Whitney U-test. Second is the paired t-test. The equivalent of the paired t-test, it is Wilcoxon signed rank test. So Wilcoxon signed rank test, it is equivalent to the equivalent to pair t-test. So Wilcoxon rank sign test, it is not new. It is just equal to the pair t-test and giving same result as pair t-test gives. So in a Wilcoxon rank sign test, we measure same respondent 2 times before the experiment and after the experiment. When we measure the 2 times same respondent observations and my data not normally distributed, then we use equivalent to the pair t-test, that is Mann-Whitney, Wilcoxon rank sign test. So okay, so this is about the non-parametric test. Now, what type of data required for the non-parametric test? So non-parametric test, when and why we use non-parametric test? So I told you, when the assumptions of the parametric test not fulfilled, in that condition we use the non-parametric test. The Wilcoxon rank sign test for 1 sample, 2 independent sample. If my sample 2 independent means 2 mutually exclusive category and I want to compare them, then I use Mann-Whitney U test. Okay. And the third is 2 dependent sample. 2 dependent sample means 2 same respondent we are measuring 2 times. So this we use Wilcox-Cohen rank sign test, and then Kruskal-Wallis means more than two independent sample test. So it's an extension of the Mann-Whitney U test. Kruskal-Wallis, it's an extension of the Mann-Whitney U test, because in a Mann-Whitney U test we compare only two groups, but in Kruskal-Wallis we can compare theoretically unlimited, but generally we take 3, 4, or 5 categories, 3 or 4, 5 levels. Okay. Same as the Friedman-ANOVA extension of the Wilcox-Cohen rank sign test, because here we are taking two dependent sample, but in a Friedman-ANOVA we can take more than two dependent sample. Okay. So this is about the concept of the non-parametric test. Now I am taking the case study of each test and then explain through the SPSS. Okay. So one sample Wilcox-Cohen rank sign test. So what is the condition of you can just go through the one sample Wilcox-Cohen rank sign test. The one sample sign test simply computes a significance test of hypothesized median value for a single data set. Yesterday we were talking about the mean value, but here we will discuss the median value or rank, because I told you in a ordinal data we convert the ordinal data, we create the ranks. Okay. And the one sample sign test simply computes a significance test of a hypothesized median value for a single data set. The one sample sign test is a non-parametric hypothesis test. A significant difference exists between the median of non-normally distributed continuous data and a standard. What does it mean? So the meaning is this. So in a non-parametric test, so it is the basically it's a assumptions free test, and we do not measure the assumptions of the parametric test, like the data should be normally distributed. So the variable should have for the independent the one sample t test. So one is data should be ordinal or continuous data. Continuous data, now the data theoretically data should be ordinal, but second is condition is data may be continuous distribution, continuous scale. Because if my data ordinal, then there is no use to there is no need to convert this data directly. We use non-parametric test. But when my data is continuous means either my data in a interval scale or my data in a ratio scale. So this the non-parametric test convert this data, either it is interval or ratio scale data, convert into the ordinal data, and it will create the rank of the data. So how we create the rank? For example, there are some numbers for 25, 47, 23, 48. These are the numbers. So we give the rank 1. This is the continuous data. So the rank, we give the rank, the lowest number rank 1, the next highest rank 2, then this 47 the rank 3, then 48 rank 4. So the rank means so we give rank 23 for one rank, the second rank for 25, third rank for this 47, and the fourth rank for the number 48. So here it's a criteria to give the ranking of the continuous data, and SPSS automatically convert the continuous data into the ranking data or ordinal data. We do not need to do anything to convert our data. Okay, so this is the about the how the as we convert the parametric data into the non-parametric data. This is case study. Now you can see this case study. The company X tires has a here in a one sample will correspond rank sign test. We will take only one variable. We will analyze or estimate only one variable. The case study of this company X has launched a new brand of tire for cars and claims that under the normal circumstances the average life of tires is 40,000 kilometers. It means tire will run 40,000 kilometers. Who is claiming? Retailer is claiming if you buy this brand of tire, at least it will run 40,000 kilometers. A retailer wants to test this claim and has taken a random sample of 10 tires. He tests the life of tires under the normal circumstances, and the results obtained are presented in the table. He took first tire and observed the tire life 36,000 kilometers. Second tire life 37,000 kilometers. Third tire 41,000 kilometers. Fourth tire 41,000 kilometers. So these are the observations he obtained, and he's claiming the population median here. Population median means the tire will run at least 40,000 kilometers. So median means median tell us the 50% chances, the 50% observation above the 40,000 and 50% observation below the 40,000. Okay, so this is it's a very simple case study. Table not visible. So can you see this case study? The tires. So in the below you can see the table. Table is it's a small table. The life of the sample tires. It's not a big table. It's only two horizontal. Okay, visible. Okay, thank you. So this is a very small case study. Now now question is how to prepare the hypothesis for the non-parametric test. Okay, thank you, Dr. Vijaya. There are two hypotheses. The hypothesis means the population median is equal to hypothesized median. What does it mean? The population median means there is a when we check. I am taking 5 observations. Just explain the median. The 5 observation means the 5 observations like 42,000 kilometer, 41,000 kilometer, 38,000 kilometer, and 37 kilometer, and 40,000 kilometer. Okay, these are the 5 observations. So what is the median value? Median value when we arrange these observations in either the ascending or descending order. So I am arranging in a ascending order, means 37,000, 38,000, and next is 40,000, then 41,000, 41,000, and 42,000. Okay. So what is the median value? Middle value. Okay. So the population median is equal to, this is our population median. If I am saying this is my population, so it's a population median 40,000 and equal to the hypothesized median. For example, there are a large number of observations. Okay. Now there are 100 observations, and out of the 100 observations, I am checking 10 observations. 10 observations. So the hypothesized median means when I arrange all the observations in a ascending or descending order, then we will get the median value. So how will we get how will we calculate the median value for odd numbers? Odd numbers means when we arrange the ascending order and the middle value, and middle value tell us the 50%. Like here there are 5 observations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 40,000 median value. So it is telling us the 50% observation below this. Yes, it is right. The 37,000 below the 40,000, 38,000 below the 40,000, and the 50% observation above this value. Yes, it is above the 41,000 above the 40,000, 42,000 above the 40,000. So here we compare we compare population median with hypothesized median. So in this question, the population median, it is given the population, the symbol of this they are using eta. It is given 40,000 kilometer. Now we will take the another like eta 1. I'm taking the, if it is the median like the 41,000 kilometer, it's a median value. So whether this difference is significant or not, initially we are assuming like in a one sample parametric test, we take the population mean equal to sample mean. Same as here, the population mean equal to the population median equal to the hypothesized median. So we check whether there is a difference in a median, but is it significant or not? Who will tell us? P value. If P value less than 0.05, then there is this difference is significant, and the claim the retailer is claiming the tire will run 40,000 kilometers. It's wrong. If its value P value greater than 0.05, it means there is no difference population median with hypothesized median. It means his claim is right. And what is alternate hypothesis? Alternate hypothesis means population median does not equal to the hypothesized median. Okay, so this is about the concept of one sample t-test and how to develop the table, the null hypothesis for the null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis for the independent, one sample Wilcoxon rank sign test. Okay. Now, next is the how to report our result. Then we report our result as we report in a one sample t-test. So I'll explain later on. Now, second case, we will discuss about the Mann-Whitney U-test. So first of all, I am discussing the concept of each test, and after that I will take case study and explain through SPSS, analyze and interpret the results. Okay. Now the second, the test Mann-Whitney U-test. Mann-Whitney U-test is a non-parametric test that can be used in place of an unpaired t-test. Unpaired means independent t-test. So the we can use the term unpaired or paired, independent dependent test. Okay, so it is used to test the null hypothesis that the two sample come from the same population, that is have the same median. Okay, so there are two uh, population. What does it mean? It means the in a null hypothesis, it is used to test the null hypothesis that two samples come from the same population, or alternatively whether observation in one sample tend to be larger than the other observation. It's a alternate hypothesis. So I explain it. What does it mean? The two sample same population, the two sample come from the same population. So it means it's a the two it's a one population, and we are taking two sample means from this population we divide into two mutually exclusive categories: male participants and female participants. Okay, there are two categories. So I am taking a small part of this population, male population, and a small part of this population. So the null hypothesis, in a null hypothesis means the median value of these observations equal to the median value of these observations. So there is no significant difference between the median value of the two. Means the both these sample came from the same population. It means there is no difference, all are equal. So this is about the two means. Now two means you can it is used to test the null hypothesis. Two samples come from the same population. Same population means there is no difference. The median value, both the group, both the categories same. Or alternate, what will be the alternate hypothesis? The observation of one sample tend to be either larger or smaller than the other observation in the group. So this is about the null and alternate hypothesis in the Mann-Whitney-U test. Next is what is the condition when we are going to apply the Mann-Whitney-U test? What should be the nature of the data? Though there are in a one dependent variable with one independent variable. What is independent variable? X, and it has two levels: rural, urban, public, private sector. Then the control group, experimental group, rural, urban. Okay, so we divide two mutually exclusive groups. So one independent variable, two levels. There are two levels. And the dependent variable y, it is my independent variable x, and the y is metric. So what is the nature? So the data should be ordinal. Okay, the condition is data should be ordinal in a Mann-Whitney test. But if we can take continuous scale of dependent variable, when will we take? When we are using the parametric test and my data is continuous, so my data not normal, this is not normal, not homogeneous, then this continuous data will convert into ordinal. So this we convert this continuous interval of ratio scale into ordinal, and then we can use the independent the equivalent to the independent t-test, that is Mann-Whitney-U test. Now question is the how to write the hypothesis for this test. The Mann-Whitney-U test, the independent variable should be nominal, and the dependent variable should be either ordinal or continuous data. Now, so it's a case study of the The one is ordinal data, dependent variable. Nominal data means two mutually exclusive category. The doctor is giving two types of doses to the patient and to reduce the depression level of the patients. There are two level. One is ecstasy tablet and another is drink syrup. Okay, it's a hypothetical study. It is not a correct study. So there are two variable: depression score and ecstasy tablet. So he took 10 participants of the ecstasy tablet users. The doctor is giving ecstasy tablet to the 10 participants or patients, and the another 10 participants he is giving syrup. Okay, so this is case study. So there are two mutually exclusive category. So here we want to know whether ecstasy tablet is doing work to reduce the depression level or the drink syrup. Which one is working? Okay. So how to develop the null hypothesis for this? There is no significant difference between ecstasy tablet and drink syrup for overcoming depression. कोई अंतर नहीं है. Both the doses equally treat the patient, and there is no significant difference. Either you take tablet or syrup, your health will improve. Okay. Now, alternate hypothesis: there is a significant difference between ecstasy tablet and drink syrup for overcoming depression. So this is the alternate hypothesis, and then how to report our result I will explain when I take the case study. Now, the ranking the data. I was talking about you the how to rank our data, how to take the median value to test the lowest score as a rank of 1, and next highest score we are converting continuous data into ordinal or ranking data. Okay, how, what is the criteria? The lowest score a rank of 1. Higher, we are not giving highest score rank 1, so we should keep in mind here lowest score we are giving rank of 1, and next highest score rank 2, and so on. Okay, so now you can take this. There are 2 days data, the Sunday data, and after 3 days Wednesday data. Okay, so how many participants? Total 20 participants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 participants. A means here the in this case the A means alcohol, and E means ecstasy tablet. Okay, so I changed in my case study, instead of alcohol I have written syrup. Okay, so the actual case study is alcohol and ecstasy tablet. Now the depression level of the, so first of all what will we do? We will give the 10 participants ecstasy tablet and 10 participants to the alcohol or syrup. Okay, next day we will measure the depression level of the patient. So there is a criteria, back depression inventory. There are some questionnaire to measure the depression. So through this we observe that the score, we obtain the score, and all the score we arrange in a ascending order. Okay, so the first lowest score is 3, second highest is 5, the score is tie 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and highest is 39, and some are tying. कुछ टाई भी कर रहे हैं, टाई स्कोर है, there is tie in score. Okay, so potential rank, the lowest rank, the what is the rank? 1. The next highest rank 2, and both are the tie. So we are giving 3 and 4 rank, and then 7 number 5 rank, and so on. Highest number, lowest rank means 20 rank. Okay, 20%. Now because there are it is tie, so the 3 and 4, so we will give 3.5 to this participants and 3.5 rank to this participant. So the actual rank is 1, 2, 3.5, 3.5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 till 20. It's a ascending order. We have created the rank. Now the A means alcohol. So here the alcohol group rank is 1, another 2. So what will we do? We add rank of the alcohol users and rank of the ecstasy user. Ecstasy means E. Okay. So here the sum of rank of the alcohol users 59 and sum of rank of the ecstasy tablet 151. It's a score of after 1 day. Then we are giving same treatment for next 3 days, and after 3 days again on Wednesday we are measuring the it's a Sunday score, it's a Wednesday score. So the Sunday score, the depression level is 13, 13, 14. These are the scores, and then we created the rank. So it's a criteria to create the rank, and the next case study will be Wilcoxon signed rank test. It is same as the before and after treatment. So I told you the Wilcoxon rank signed test. It is not new thing. It is not doing anything new work. It is just measuring the same participants 2 times before treatment and after treatment. So the Wilcoxon rank sign test to compare 2 sets of scores when these scores come from the same participants. So we are taking 2 times 10 participants. So we are taking 2 times observation, Monday and Wednesday. Okay, and 3 days time period. It's an experimentation or treatment. Imagine the experiment in the previous example was interesting. The change in imagine the experimenter in the previous example was interested in the change in depression level for the 2 drugs. Okay. So we still have to use non-parametric test because distribution of scores for drugs were non-normal, data not normally distributed. That is why we use the Wilcoxon rank sign test. So it's a case study. A neurologist investigate the stress effect of certain drug. The drug is giving syrup to the 10 patients and giving syrup for some days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days. So after giving the 3 days treatment, he is measuring whether stress level decrease or not. Okay, so it's a case study of Wilcoxon rank sign test. We are measuring 2 times the stress level of the patient, one Sunday and one after the 3 days. Okay, these are the observation. How to develop the null hypothesis in a non-parametric test, Wilcoxon rank sign test? The hypothesis is there is no significant impact of drink syrup on reducing stress. So there is no impact. There is no relation. But alternate hypothesis suggests us there is a significant impact of drink syrup on reducing stress. Then who will decide it? The p-value. If p-value less than 0.05, it means there is an impact, and this dose is working and reducing the weight, reducing the stress level of the patient. And then finally we report our result like this. Then next is the Kruskal-Wallis test. In a Kruskal-Wallis test, we compare the Kruskal-Wallis test compare more than 2 samples. So the Kruskal-Wallis test is a non-parametric counterpart of the one-way independent ANOVA. If you have data that have violated an assumptions, so what are the assumptions? The data should be normally distributed and data should be homogeneous. The theory for the Kruskal-Wallis test is very similar to that of the Mann-Whitney test. Like the Mann-Whitney test, the Kruskal-Wallis test is also based on ranked data. Ranked data means we create the rank, take the mean rank. Now, it's a case study. We are taking this case study to explain the Kruskal-Wallis test. Does coffee consumption affect your heart rate? So there are two variables. Heart rate score that is depend on coffee consumption. There are four levels. There are four groups. One is control group. We are not giving coffee all the 10 participants, and we are measuring the heart rate score of the 10 participants. Now, second group, we are giving 1 cup coffee per day, and we are measuring after taking the coffee, consuming the coffee by the participants, we measured the heart rate score. Third group, we are giving 2 cup coffee per day, 2 cup coffee, and after that we will measure the. So this process will continue at least 1 month, and after 1 month we will take the heart rate score of the one group. It's a control group. We are not giving any treatment. We are not giving any coffee to this group, 10 people. We are simply measuring the heart rate score. And after 1 month, we are measuring the heart rate score of 10 participants, and they consumed 1 cup coffee per day last 1 month, since last month. And the third group, the 2 cup coffee, we are giving 2 cup coffee last 1 month, and after 1 month we are measuring the heart rate score of the 10 persons. And the last fourth group, we are measuring the heart rate score of the 10 participants here. Okay, so here the dependent variable, that is ordinal. If it is continuous, then it will convert into ordinal. And the independent variable, nominal. There are 4 categories. We selected 10 people and taking the heart rate score of them. And then second group, the 10 people, we are giving 1 cup coffee per day for 1 month. The another second group, third group, we are giving 2 cup coffee per day for 1 month. And the last group, 4th cup coffee. It's my research design. So there are only 2 variables in a Kruskal-Wallis test. When we apply the Kruskal-Wallis test, we use only 2 variables. One dependent variable, that is ordinal or continuous maybe, and another nominal scale. And then we develop the hypothesis. So what is the hypothesis for Kruskal-Wallis test? The median outcome is the same across all the categories. Means the median value of this group, the median value of this no cup coffee group equal to the median value of this group, equal to the median value of third group, equal to the median value of fourth group. It means all the median values are same across the group. Okay, we have 4 groups. The median outcome is the same across all categories. But alternate hypothesis, no, at least one pair of median different from each other. It means control group heart rate score median less than the other. It's a alternate hypothesis. This is about the Kruskal-Wallis test. Last case study for non-parametric test, that is Friedman-ANOVA. Friedman-ANOVA, I told you, it is equivalent to the repeated measures ANOVA. It is used for testing difference between conditions when there are more than 2 conditions and the same participants have been used in all conditions. Means more than 2 conditions. After 1 week, we are measuring the 10 participants. After 2 weeks, we are measuring same participants. After 3 weeks, we are measuring same participants. If you have violated some assumptions of parametric test, it means my data are not normally distributed or homogeneous, then this test can be useful way around the problem. Okay. Okay, so it's equivalent to the repeated measures n. So in this case, I will take the case study to explain the Friedman ANOVA to test the efficacy of my wonderful new diet. The researcher took 10 women who considered themselves to be in need of losing weight and put them on this diet for 2 months. Their weight was measured in kilogram at the start of the diet and then after 1 month, after 2 months. Now, how to develop the hypothesis for this? There is no significant impact of diet on weight loss. Alternate hypothesis? No. There is a significant impact of diet on weight. If the median value the different, then we can say there is a significant difference. So now I am taking the first case study to explain the explain in SPSS. Now, is it visible? Can you see this? Can you see this SPSS data set? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now I am performing one sample Wilcoxon rank sign test. So as we know, this data is ratio scale data. So we should check the assumption. Although it is non-parametric data, but initially we should check the assumption of this test. Okay. Now so how to check the assumptions of the parametric test? Analyze, compare means, one sample t-test. One sample t-test. Okay. Analyze, और गलत बोल गया, one analyze non-parametric test, one sample. Parametric, sorry, assumptions की बात कर रहे थे पहले हम. Yes, we check the assumptions. Analyze, descriptive statistics, and explore. Transfer the dependent variable in a dependent list and plots. I am taking normality plot with test, and we check if my p-value less than 0.05, it means data not normal. If p-value greater than 0.05, it means data is normally distributed. Okay, so it is very easy. Again, I am repeating how to check the normality of the data. Analyze, descriptive statistics, and explore. The life of the trial in dependent list plots. So I need only normality plots with test and then continue. After continue, okay. Now I am sharing you the output. So the output, you can see here the output. The output is the p-value, the case test p-value. What is the case test p-value here? The p-value of case test, it is 0.047. P-value less than 0.05. So data not normal. Okay. So we cannot apply one sample t-test. So we will apply one sample Wilcoxon rank sign test. So I am taking my case study again, one sample, and now you can see this case study. Okay, I am applying the one sample Wilcoxon rank sign test. Yes, we can correct it, but I am not correcting the data. So it's a method. If your data after correcting it is uh, normal, then we can use the parametric test. If after correcting it is not normal, then we use one sample t-test. Okay. So because my objective here to explain the concept. Now the one sample non-parametric, analyze one sample. Okay. So this is the way: analyze non-parametric test one sample and then tick. So here I am ticking the yes, if Shapiro value we can take, is Shapiro value showing the data not normally distributed, it's a greater than 0.05, then you can take it. Okay. Now the one sample t-test, again I am repeating, analyze non-parametric test one sample and then customize analysis and then fields. I am ticking fields and number of tires, because it's a simple 10 numbers. There is no use of the number of tires like 1, 2, 3, 8. My purpose to analyze this live data. Now I have transferred here, and then after transfer, settings means customized test. I'm ticking customized test and the Wilcoxon signed rank test. So I am comparing, I am just ticking this option. Compare median to hypothesized. Wilcoxon rank signed test. Okay. Now after that, what should I put? What value I should put here? Can anyone inform me? What should be the value? What hypothesized median? Can anyone tell me? Yes, you are right. 40,000. Very good. Thank you. So here I am putting the value 40,000 because the retailer was claiming that the tire will run 40,000 kilometers. And then after that, a run. Okay, run, and we will get the output. Now I am interpreting the output. So this is my output. I'm showing you the output. Can you see the output? Yes, median question. Anu, your question is why do we take the median value? Okay. So the purpose, because in a non-parametric test, I told you we use we use median value. Why? No question is, again I'm explaining. It's a relevant question. The actually there are 4 types of data. Or frequency. Okay. Now the Voice breaking for the internet problem. Can you hear me properly now? Please inform me. Can you hear me? Still break. Voice is breaking. Okay, okay. Breaking again. Okay. Is it not? It is breaking. I think. Okay, okay, okay. So I'm repeating again. There is no problem. No, no. So I am giving the. It's a very good question. Why should we take the median value? Okay, it's a relevant question. So I'm just explaining it. So in basically there are four types of level of measurement. I told you. One is I'm again repeating the nominal scale. So I'm using the okay. I'm just explaining again why do we take median value in a non-parametric test. So there are four types of level of measurement. I told you the one is we can frame our question in a nominal scale. Okay, if my question the statistics we use equal, the statistics we use equal and does not equal. What does it mean? And we take mod. Mod means frequency. We can present our data either frequency or percentage. So if I am measuring the students in my class, so the observations may be male or female, may be equal number of students or does not equal. Okay, nominal scale, and I can present my data in a this graph bar chart. So it may be the 40% percentage and frequency. Okay, and we can use only chi-square test, this type of questions if both the questions in a nominal scale question. Second is the second type, the ordinal data. In a ordinal data, we use the term in a ordinal data. This is ordinal data. We create rank. Ordinal data, like in a college or a school class, the student who obtain the 80% mark, so we can give the first rank. The 75, the rank is second. The 74, the rank is 3. So here we are creating the rank. So we use the equal, does not equal properties, less than, and this greater than, and as well as we use only median. We can use the term median. Okay, क्या क्वेश्चन है आपका पहले सर? ये है, is it required to present the result of interpretation of nominal test? Yes, we should present our result, the whether data is normal or not. Okay, so my question, please understand. Now question is, why are we taking the median value? So in case in the ordinal data, we take the median value, and we cannot take the mean value of this type of data because it's a simple ranking. We cannot say the first student, the first rank holder, 2 times intelligent the second ranker. So we cannot we cannot use multiplication properties. We cannot say plus or minus property. We cannot use. I cannot say the rank holder 1 2% more intelligent the rank holder 3. So we cannot use plus minus. We cannot. Yes, we can say the rank holder 1 is greater than the second, greater intelligently. So here we use greater than and less than property. Here we cannot use the plus, minus, division and multiplication. We don't use these statistics here. We use simply all the students are same rank or not equal to same rank, or one is lesser than the other. So we use the median. The third case that is the either interval. No, we cannot say the how much greater. We can't say it. The rank one holder 2% greater than the rank holder 2. We never says the rank holder in a like in a Miss India contest. You cannot say the Miss India one 2% intelligent or the other two. No, she is. It's a simple ranking. It's a ranking. We cannot say how much. We cannot use plus, minus, multiplication. We cannot say the first rank holder, the Miss India, the 2 times beautiful than the second or third. We cannot say. So we just say in this type of questions we use the greater than and less than property, and the we use median. So in a non-parametric test, when we create the rank like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we use median value. So we take mean rank. Here we use the term mean rank. Okay, so we will take the mean rank of the two. If we are comparing the two group, so the mean rank of first group and mean rank of second group, and then we compare whether the mean rank is significantly different or not. Okay, so I am checking my the case study to explain the concept of Mann-Whitney test. So I was discussing about the output of one sample t-test. Okay, now this is the output of one sample t-test. Now you can see the output. So I think it is visible to you. So the output is, when I double click it, so what is the value here? Mean, median, sorry, hypothesized median, we entered 40,000 and observed median 41,000. Whether this is significant or not, in a null hypothesis, we assume the both hypothetical median equal to the observed median. It means there is no significant difference. But alternate hypothesis says no, hypothesized median does not equal to the observed median. Then who will decide? This p value. The p asymptotically significant p value, it is greater than 0.05. It means there is no difference. The median value more or less same. It's not a very big difference. So I told you, when we compare the two, either median or mean, we always get the different value. But whether that difference is significant or not, this p value tell. So it means the retailer was claiming that the tire will run 41,000. So it is okay. It is he is claiming right. So he is not telling the wrong promises. Okay. So this is about the one sample t-test. Now I am taking the case study of second, that is Mann-Whitney U test. The Mann-Whitney U test, the second case study I am opening. The Mann-Whitney U test, yes. Now you can see the Mann-Whitney U test case study. I am just showing you the case study. So in this case study, please see this case study. I told you there are two types of drugs the doctor is giving to the patients to reduce the depression level of the patients. So 10 patients, doctors giving the ecstasy tablet, and after 3 days, they measured the depression level of the participants. It's a score out of 50. Okay, For the Ecstasy tablet user, the score is 25, 28, 35, 35, 24, 39, 32. And those who are taking syrup, their score 5, 6, there is different. So, but we cannot say this difference is significant or not. So the data is because data is normally data is continuous. So we check the assumptions. So I know the data is not normally distributed. So, but again, I can check the assumptions whether my data normally distributed or homogeneous or not. Analyze, descriptive statistics, explore. Types of drug into factor and BDI into this. And plots, I need only normality plots and untransferred form homogeneity leave-in test, and then continue. After continue, okay, and I'm sharing you the output of this, and the output is the output. You can see the output is, yes, this is output. Now, what is output? So the data, the Ecstasy tablet users data, it is normal data because p-value greater than 0.05. It is not normal, and the data is homogeneous also. So the complete data not normal but homogeneous. So we cannot use the parametric test. So we use Mann-Whitney U test. Okay. So I am using Mann-Whitney U test to analyze my data. Now, how to perform the Mann-Whitney U test? This is the case study. I think you can see this case study. The Ecstasy tablet users and syrup users. Okay, this is case study. Now, I am analyzing data. Analyze non-parametric test and legacy dialog and 2 independent samples. So there are 2 ways to perform the non-parametric. One is we can perform through this way also, but there is another way. We can open analyze non-parametric test, legacy dialog, and 2 independent sample, one Ecstasy tablet user and another syrup user. Okay, and then so I am transferring categorical variable in a grouping variable and define group. Group means the coding. So we have coded one for the Ecstasy tablet user and 2 for syrup user, and then continue, and we are transferring here this variable, and after transferring this, the by default we can see here Mann-Whitney U test, and then okay, and after okay we will obtain the result. So I am showing you the results of the Mann-Whitney U test. So you can see the result of Mann-Whitney U test. So here in this output, we can see the result Mann-Whitney U test. So how to interpret it? So in the first table ranks, so the rank of Ecstasy tablet users, that is 15 point mean rank, 15.15, and the syrup, those who are taking syrup, their mean rank is 5.90. Whether it is significant, this difference significant or not, there is a different mean, okay, mean rank, but whether it is significant or not, who will tell us this difference significant or not? Asymptotically significant p-value. This is okay, asymptotically significant p-value, which is less than 0.05. So we can say syrup is more good than the Ecstasy tablet, although it is a hypothetical study to just explain the concept of Mann-Whitney test. Okay, so we can conclude that, and then we need to present the results of median also. So we will take median value also, because we require our requirement to present the median value also. So here analyze, I am taking just simple descriptive statistics of my data. Analyze, because for interpretation purpose we need median value also. Analyze descriptive statistics, analyze descriptive statistics, and explore the, I'm transferring here statistics. By default it is giving descriptive, and although when we check the normality we can take them with all the value, and then okay, and after okay I am showing you the median value. So median value of now the median value you can see here, the median value of the two group, sorry, I did not create the two group, so I will median value, I need median value of two groups. Analyze, again I'm taking median value, analyze descriptive statistics, explore, and drugs, because median value I need ecstasy tablet user and syrup users also. And then okay, now I will get the two median value. So there are two median value. The ecstasy tablet user median value, it is 33.5, and syrup user median value 7.5. Is it same or different? It is different. Both the value different, 33.5 and 7.5. So whether this difference significant or not, we already find out through our calculation. Now question is how to report the result of Mann Whitney U test in our research papers. So we should present our result look like this. I think you can see this slide. Is it visible to the PPT? Can you see the PPTs? Okay, thank you. It means you can see the PPTs. So how to report the result of the Mann Whitney test? Ecstasy tablet users median value, that is 33.5, were significantly more depressed than the drink syrup. ना जो syrup लेने more than depressed word का कोई यूज नहीं है यहाँ पे, you can हटा सकते हैं, more than the drink syrup user, and median that is 7.5, and U Mann Whitney U test value for Z equal to -3.48 and P equal to 0.005. So this is the way to interpret our result. Now I am taking the another case study of the Wilcox-Con rank sign test. So here you can see the Wilcox-Con rank sign test. The same participants we are measuring two times. The Sunday we are giving, doctors giving the tablet to the patient, and after one day it's a the score of the patient's depression score, and after continuing 3 days the doctors giving the tablet to the participant, and after 3 days the score is this. So same we are measuring here same participants two times. So we use Wilcox-Con. Audibility is very low, हो जाता है कभी कभी, so थोड़ा लेकिन देखते रहिए आप, इससे कोई नहीं. Now so I am performing the analyze, then non-parametric test, legacy dialogues, and two related samples. Okay, फिर से चेक कर लीजिए. Analyze, non-parametric tests, legacy dialogues, two related samples. Okay, and then okay. So I am transferring here both the variables, Sunday score and Wednesday score. By default, you can see here Wilcox-Con, and then okay. And after okay, I am showing you the result. the result of my data is this. Now the rank of the day 1 Sunday, that is 5.22, and 8 another day Wednesday rank is 8. Whether this difference significant or not, who will tell us? This asymptotically p value, and it is this p value is saying there is a significant difference. The purpose of Wilcoxon test to actually data our Nidhi, our data not normally distributed, so it's a non-parametric test. That is why we use Wilcoxon signed rank test. Actually, I think you were not present my lecture in it, because I discussed why am I using Wilcoxon signed rank test, because it's equivalent to the pair t-test. When we take observations of same respondent 2 times and data not normal, so we use equivalent to the pair t-test, we use Wilcoxon rank sign test. Okay, any question, any doubt? Nidhi, negative, okay, actually negative and the positive values. So when we create the rank, so we obtain some negative ranks and some positive ranks. Okay, so you can go through the book, the written by Andy Field book, so to understand the in detail. So the discovering of statistics using Andy Field, or you can separately mail me also. So after the faculty develop, actually I could not share this book because it's a very 200 MB, so I could not send you this book. But if you go through this book in detail, then you can understand. It's a very good book. The book Discovering of Statistics Using SPSS, and you can get it through the Amazon also in Indian price. It is very, I think 800 or 900 rupees cost, but in a Flipkart, it's a very costly book, 5,500 book. So I have soft copy also, I can share you. You can buy this book also. Okay, so this is about the Wilcoxon rank sign test. Now the third is the Kruskal-Wallis test. The Kruskal-Wallis test. So in the Kruskal-Wallis test, in this case study, I already discussed this case study, the Kruskal-Wallis test. I have shared all the, I have shared my all PPTs, all SPSS data, all ebooks, but I think you are not in a group. I have 2 or 3 times I have shared the zip file also. If anyone not received, then you can write me in a WhatsApp group. I will share all the, and you can get my all data in a my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel name Dr. Shailesh Kaushal. So you type Dr. Shailesh Kaushal YouTube, and then I have uploaded 116 videos there. So in each video, I have uploaded the case study and the sheet, the SPSS sheet also, .sav file. Also, I uploaded there. So you can download from there, and then you can practice it also. Okay. So there is no issue, and I can I always distribute my all PPTs, all ebooks, all data. So I'm not. I believe in share the data. Okay. So I was talking about the case study of the Wilcoxon, Kruskal-Wallis test. In this case study, I have already explained. So there are 4 groups. So the researcher wants to know whether coffee consumption increase heart rate score or not. So there is a one control group. We are not giving any coffee, and after 1 month we measured the heart rate score of 10 participants. Then the second group, we are giving 1 cup coffee, 10 peoples, and after the 1 month we measured the heart rate score of the 10 participants, and we are giving the coffee. Okay. Next is the third group, that is the 2 cup coffee per day. We are giving 2 cup coffee per day for third group, and after 1 month we measure the heart rate score of the 10 participants, and another is the 4 cup coffee of this. So here we are taking the, because it is a non-parametric test, so we compare the median here. Okay, median. So like my data would be look like this. You can see the one data metric and the categorical no cup coffee, no cup, one group 10 people, 1 cup, and then 2 cup, and the third group, that is 4 cup coffee. So here in a null hypothesis means median value of this equal to median value of this equal to median value. It means all the median value are same across the groups. But alternate hypothesis, at least 2 median values are not same. So we just want to know whether coffee consumption increase the heart rate score significantly or not. Okay, so I am just explaining it. I am performing the Kruskal-Wallis test, analyze non-parametric test and the K independent samples. K independent means many samples, more than 2 independent samples. Again, you can see here, analyze non-parametric test, legacy dialogues, and K independent samples. And then coffee consumption in a grouping variable, and define range. Range means 1, 4. So I have written here range of group variables 4, and then transfer this heart rate score in a test variable. The continue, after continue, and transfer it this. By default, we can see here Kruskal-Wallis test. By default, we can see Kruskal-Wallis test. So we do not need to tick anything. We just okay and get the output. I am showing you the output. Minimum not 0. It's a coding, Dr. Abhigyan. It's a coding. It's not minimum and maximum. It's a just coding. I have coded 1 and maximum. There are 4 level. So that is why minimum not 0. Is it clear? Okay. So here it's a coding. So you can give the coding 0 and 3 also. It's a no problem. You can code instead of 1, you can give 0 and another group 2. Then again we will take 0 and 3. Okay, not 0 and 4, because there are only 4 levels. Okay, thank you. Now I am performing independent t-test. Sorry, Kruskal-Wallis test. I am showing you the results of this test. Is it visible? Can you see this result? Just please. Now you can see the results. Okay. So in the result, I am interpreting the output. The first is no cup coffee. What is the mean rank? Mean rank of no cup coffee. Mean rank of no cup coffee 16.5. 16.5, 16.35. Second, 19.1, 19.65. Third, 14.65. Fourth, 13.545. Null hypothesis says all the median values or mean rank same across the group. जो चार group है, all four. But alternate hypothesis says no, there is a difference, not equal. All are equal, not equal. So we, from the data we can say this is 16.35 different from 19.5, 14. Sorry, all values are different. But whether this difference is significant or not, this p value tell us, and the p value that is 0.06 means less than 0.05. It means there is a significant impact. It means we can say the coffee consumption increases heart rate score. But here we cannot use the post-hoc analysis technique. So there is another method to find. So in this case, we cannot use the post-hoc analysis test here for this method. There is another method. We can use post-hoc analysis test. Now, what will we do? There are four groups. So we will prepare 3 pair. Take no cup coffee, no cup, 1 cup, 2 cup, and 4 cup. Now the result says there is a significant impact, but we do not know whether 1 cup coffee significantly increasing the heart rate score, 2 cup coffee, and 4 cup coffee. So we need to do post hoc test. So in this method, we cannot do the post hoc analysis, but another analysis we can do post hoc analysis test also. So I will discuss that also. So we will take 3 pair. We will compare whether the 1 cup coffee or no cup coffee, is it significant or not. Second, this is one, it's a 1 pair. This is second pair, no cup coffee with 2 cup coffee, and third pair we compare this 1 cup coffee with this. So we will use 3 times Mann-Whitney U test. 1 pair with this pair, we compare no cup coffee with 1 cup. Second, no cup coffee with 2 cup coffee, we will use Mann-Whitney U test. And third, no cup coffee with 4 cup coffee. Okay, so I am doing one by one. So here the Kruskal-Wallis test. Analyze, I am sharing the slides. The analyze, I am performing 3 times Mann-Whitney U test. The Mann-Whitney means 2 independent samples. Coffee consumption, heart rate score, I am transferring test variable list. Coffee consumption in grouping variable and define groups. There are 2. 1 means no cup coffee, and second I am comparing 1 cup coffee. That is 2. Okay, 1 and 2, and then continue. And this is Mann-Whitney. Now again I am performing this with the this Mann-Whitney U test. I am performing for the group that is 1 with 3 group: analyze, non-parametric test, and 2 independent samples. Now I am changing here 1 with 3 level. Okay, and then continue, and then after okay. I am sharing you again the third group also. Third time I am doing Mann-Whitney U test, analyze, then non-parametric test, and then 2 independent sample. So I am changing value 1 and 4. So there are 3 pairs, and then continue, and you can see here Mann-Whitney U test, and then okay. And after okay, I am sharing you all the results and then interpreting one by one. So when we compare Mann-Whitney U test here the this one coffee. Yes. Now I am comparing here the no cup coffee with uh, no cup coffee with one cup coffee. देखिए, the mean rank 9.4 and 11.4. So there is a difference. Whether this difference is significant or not, asymptotically value this 0.404 greater than 0.05. So there is no significant difference. No significant difference. Now, second is the second. Okay. Now the second interpretation, the no cup coffee with no cup coffee with the main white. Okay, ये गलत हो गया इसमें शायद. Analysis second and third is again I am repeating. शायद कहीं कुछ गलती हो गई इसमें. Then two independent sample, 1 and 2. The another non-parametric test, two independent sample. Okay, I am showing you the output. Now you can see the output. The it's a the one and the acetatic syrup, acetatic tablet. Sorry, गलत हो गया. एक मिनट, ये गलत हो गया था. अब दोबारा से देखिए. Analyze the non-parametric test. Analyze non-parametric test and two independent samples. So the second is 1 with 3 group and then continue. So there are 3 pairs. So first pair, it was not significant. When we take no cup coffee, see it, is it visible output? Now you can see the no cup coffee with 2 cup coffee, there is no significant difference because p value 10.25 mean rank and 10.75, and the asymptotically value that is 0.850. So there is no significant impact when you take the 2 cup coffee per day. Now the third case is when you take 1 cup coffee with 4 cup coffee, then you find there is a significant impact. So the 1 cup coffee with 4 cup coffee, you can find the significant impact. Another way to, because in this method we cannot do the post hoc analysis, but another method we can use the post hoc analysis test also. Analyze non-parametric test and independent samples. From this way we can find the okay, and then compare median across group, then fields, heart rate score. I am transferring here coffee consumption in a grouping variable, and then setting the Kruskal-Wallis test, one way ANOVA and all pairwise. Okay, multiple comparison. We will get many comparison. 1 with 2, 1 with 3, 1 with 4, 2 with 3, 2 with 4, 3 with 4. So many compare mean we will get it. And then run, and after run, so I am showing you the result. The result is this is result. Now you can see this. Okay, so here you can see independent sample Kruskal-Wallis test. When I double click it, it will open. Okay, now you can see the double click, and the double click, after double clicking, now you can see the You can see the table. So here, so there is a significant impact with a no cup coffee, 1 cup coffee, 2 cup coffee, and the 4 cup coffee. Now, what are the post hoc analysis test here? So I'm showing you the results of post pairwise comparison. रवि क्या हो रहा है बेटा? रवि क्या कर रहे हो भैया? अपने डिवाइस को टच ना करो. रवि, डोंट टच योर डिवाइस. अब देखिए, इसमें देखिए मैनी कंपेरिजन. इसमें हमें पोस्ट होक एनालिसिस करने की जरूरत नहीं है. बाय डिफॉल्ट इट विल गिव अस. So one is 1 cup coffee with, there are 3 pair. One no cup coffee with 2. First is 1 no cup coffee with 1 cup coffee. So it is not significant. Okay. 1 no cup coffee with 2 cup, no significant. No cup of coffee and 4 cup coffee. So it is not no cup coffee, 4 cup coffee. It is not giving the significant result also. But the significant result, the other method, the significant result, the not visible. Okay. ठीक है मैं अभी 1 मिनट जस्ट इंटरकनेक्ट. Okay, no problem. I will show again. Okay. मैं अभी शो कर रहा हूँ. Just wait. No problem. Yes. Is it visible now? Can you see now? Please inform me. अभी भी visible नहीं है. Okay. I'll repeat again. मैं दोबारा से कर रहा हूँ. नॉट विजिबल. ओके नो प्रॉब्लम. मैं इसको फिर से स्टॉप करके दोबारा से इसको, इसका जो आउटपुट है ना वो विजिबल नहीं है. ठीक है. अब मैं दोबारा से शो कर रहा हूँ. आई एम शोइंग यू अगेन. Okay, now you can see it. Okay, no problem. Now I am showing you the result of this analyze non-parametric test, independent sample t test, and Kruskal-Wallis test, and run. After that I am showing you the result. Okay, I am showing you the result of the Kruskal-Wallis test. Now is it visible now? Can you see the results of Kruskal-Wallis test? Output, can you see the output? Okay, thank you. Now the, okay, yes, thank you. Now I am checking multiple pairwise comparison. In a pairwise comparison, so I compared 4 group, three pair. 1 pair no cup coffee with, here we do not need to do post hoc analysis. By default it will give us. One is no cup coffee with 1 cup coffee. There are 3 pair. So the difference is not significant. No cup coffee with 2 cup coffee. Yes, this one. No cup coffee with 2 cup coffee. The result is not significant. No cup coffee with 4 cup coffee. Yes, there is a significant difference. So here we do not need to do post hoc analysis. It will give us the post hoc analysis result also. So we can interpret that the 1 cup coffee per day and 2 cup coffee per day not increase significantly heart rate score. When you consume more the 4 cup coffee per day, then it may increase significantly your heart rate score. Now the last case study, that is Friedman ANOVA. So I am showing you the case study of Friedman ANOVA. This is Friedman ANOVA. Some women want to reduce their weight in a 2 month. So the dietitian given the treatment, the weight is 63.75, and after 1 month weight instead of decreasing, it increased 65, and after 2 months 81. Then we can see the weight is increasing, but some participant weight is decreasing also. It is decreasing. But when we see the overall data, so we can say this diet plan not working because weight is not significantly decreasing. Okay, so whether it is correct or not, so what will we do? We will use the Friedman ANOVA to perform whether the program reduce the significantly weight or not. Analyze non-parametric test, legacy, and K related samples. Okay. Analyze non-parametric test, legacy dialogues, and K related samples. Okay. In a K related samples, my email ID जो है मैं okay, so मैं लेक्चर के बाद भी दे सकता हूँ, लेकिन अब आपने मांग लिया तो ठीक है, लो ये लीजिए gmail.com। तो ये मैंने ईमेल आईडी दे दी kaushal.sk1971@gmail.com। कौशल के छोटा वाला बनाएंगे, है ना, ये छोटा वाला। Anyway, so I am checking all the 3 variables simultaneously, and Friedman ANOVA, by default it is Friedman ANOVA, and after Friedman ANOVA I am just okay, and the result will appear, and we will see whether the result significantly different or not. So we can see here the result. विजिबल नहीं है तो मैं आपको दे दूंगा, ईमेल आईडी मैं भी शो कर दूंगा इसमें पीपीटी में। ओके, अगर कोई नहीं देख पा रहा है। नाउ द आउटपुट ऑफ रिजल्ट, weight at start 1.90 rank, after 1 month 2 mean rank, after 2 months 2.10 rank. So whether is it significant different? Who will tell us? P value. So P value telling us it is not significant because asymptotically P value greater than 0.05. So there is no impact of the diet plan to reduce the weight of the participants. So thank you very much, dear participants, for today's lecture.